Today on the channel from the Grapplers and Gimmicks retro wrestling figure line, we've got Mark Canterbury and Dennis Knight, the Godwins.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Here and welcome back to the channel for another Grapplers and Gimmicks retro wrestling figure unboxing and review. And today on the channel we got a tag team. We've got the Godwins with Mark Canterbury and Dennis Knight. But for all your Grapplers and Gimmicks needs, you better check out HassleToy.com. That is where these figures are sold. Not sure if they have stock left on these. You'll have to check it out there. But I did pre-order these not too long ago, and these turned and burned pretty fast. And that's kind of what we're seeing from the Grapplers and Gimmicks line, as we've unboxed quite a few figures from this line already here on the channel. So check out any of those if you did miss them. But here, for the first time, we got a tag team, and I'm here for that, as this was one of my favorite tag team action figures back in the Bone Cruncher days, and we'll bring those out in a little bit. But of course, we're going to do this unboxing like we do all the other unboxings on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. We're going to start with old Mark Canterbury is where we're going to start first here. And the Godwins, one of those tag teams from back in the day that it really doesn't get the love they do deserve. Of course, they were around a decent amount of time. They were very iconic, very memorable, but we've never really gotten a whole lot of action figures from them over the years. It would be great to get some Mattel Elites one of these days. Who knows? We'll see what happens, but we'll have to do with some Grappler and Gimmick retro style figures for right now. But I'm here for a tag team. Kind of gives me the Hasbro vibes, as we got a lot of tag teams back in the day from Hasbro. Of course, Grapplers and Gimmicks logo. You got that Hasbro style packaging. Got the card with the bubble. Everything's tight on there. We're here for that, of course. Then you got the glamour shot in the back, looking very Hasbro-like in the packaging department. Does say he's got the Farm Flattener as his finishing move right here. Comes with a slop bucket. I'm here for that as well. Looking pretty good. And then on the back of the package, we got that artwork. We got the cross-sell. We got some of that. Let's see what it says back here. The Grapplers and Gimmicks design team is dedicated to producing figures in the spirit of the ones we all know and love. We hope our mindful efforts make you feel as if the original line never ended. And it's promoting Dennis Knight, Mark Canterbury, Bobby Horn, and Nelson Frazier Jr. on the back. So we got some of that going on. No, besides that, nothing else. Let's pull him off the card and see what all the fuss is about. Old Hog himself, Henry O. Godwin, as we do know. Looking good. He's ready to take on Triple H in a hog pin match if he needs to. You never know what he might be up to here. Pull that out. Bam. See you later. Goodbye. And we do get the slop bucket here. And oh, I didn't even realize this. We got slop inside the bucket. We got the handle, of course. Good weight to this bucket as well. A good accessory. Feeling like it could be something from the Hasbro day back in the day with this accessory. So I am here for that. Now we get old Mark Canterbury out of the package. And this is an interesting looking one here. Now, of course, first thing you notice here is his blue overalls. You got the yellow shirt underneath, of course, looking good as well. And then you do got a green hat, which I believe would be like a John Deere style hat. Obviously, no logos on that one from him. But it is an interesting looking version of old Mark Canterbury, or as I know him, Henry Godwin here. Now, another thing I've seen is some of the cardboard backing sticking to the figure. We got some of that on the elbow here. Going to have to work that off. It looks like it took maybe just a little bit of paint off. So we do have that. I got the little piece right there on my table. He does got the black elbow pad going on here. Of course, we always remember that with Mark Canterbury. He's got black boots, and then he's got two fists of Hog Fury here. He's ready to throw down if he needs be. And of course, the arms do go all the way around on this one here. We're seeing some stuff. Let's see here. I don't know. Okay, the arms do go all the way around on here. This arm goes all the way around as well. Okay, all right. Waist articulation, yep, we got that going on. And then we got head not moving anywhere for me. So we're not getting anything out of that head. Got the long hair and got the face going on. Now, the skin tone on this one is kind of a sickly yellow. And I guess I'm not super familiar with his skin tone off the top of my head here. But it does look a little bit... more yellowish than it should be. It should have been maybe lit up a little bit, and that could be the yellow of the shirt kind of playing tricks with your eyes a little bit maybe there. But it does look very cartoony in the face department here. Now, this isn't quite the heels and faces. That's going for a little bit different look. It's more akin to the Hasbro days, so I'd say it's kind of somewhere in the middle, but it does have a little cartoony look to the face on this one. Now, one thing I don't like is, and I usually love fists all the time, and I guess you just have to hold it around his wrist there like this, because I would have liked to have an open hand here where you could kind of hold on to the bucket like so. Instead, you're just going to have to kind of loop it around. Still works, same effect, not that big of a deal, but I would like a holding hand here and have it held down to his side like that. That's kind of how I would have liked to have him displayed. Is what it is, though, at the end of the day there. No peg holes in the bottom, as we do see with this line. Some of the lines like Mattel and, of course, Heels and Faces, they do have the peg holes. This one does not. Really depends how the set wants to be, and that's how they're going with this one. No peg holes. So there you go. But an interesting looking skin tone. The skin tone brings me down a little bit, but man, I really do like what they're going for here. I really like the Godwins, and I feel they're very underrepresented in action figures, so I am very happy to get this Henry Godwin here looking good. Stands up just fine on his own as well. So looking pretty nice. There he is, old hog, Mark Canterbury himself. Now we're turning our attention over to Dennis Knight. Of course, Phineas I. Godwin, hog and pig. Oh my gosh, it writes itself at the end of the day. But there he is, very similar packaging, big glamour shot, Grapplers and Gimmicks logo. Very tight on the card, not coming off the card, anything like that. We do get a little Hasbro-esque thing down here with the pig pen punch. He does come with a pig, which I think is very, very cool. I'm here for that accessory. Really fits in with these two. Very similar back on the back here. Maybe identical, actually. Of course, you got the different glamour shot artwork here. Dennis Knight, of course. Beard detail, long sleeve shirts. It's got all kind of the notes and all that kind of stuff. From 1/31/2023. So looking pretty nice as far as packaging goes. Nice card art. I love the cards on here. Nice sturdy packaging on these. Can't ask for much more than that on your retro figures. But we're going to pull Dennis Knight out of the packaging as well. We're going to find out what all the fuss is about with Dennis Knight. And I think there's been fussing in the kitchen with Dennis Knight, as I believe he is a chef these days. I think he runs a restaurant, something like that. See you later, goodbye. But now we're getting him out of the package here, and we do got this pig. Looks like some toy you'd get at like a little farm set or something at the grocery store your grandma would buy for you. You'd get a pig and some cows, lambs, maybe some fencing, something like that. But it has that kind of feel to it. It is a little pink pig. No eyes, no extra detail, just all in pink right here. But very cool that he can be stored right under the arm. I like that he fits right in there. Fits perfectly. That's the way an accessory should fit. Fits perfect right there. I am here for that. Pull him out. Looking good. We're going to stick him over with Henry Godwin. And now we get old Dennis Knight out of the package here. And I got a little bit of dirt on his face there. He does got a camo hat going on. Once again, we got the same color skin tone between these two. So maybe these two got jaundice. I don't know what happened to these two. But it's not terrible by any means. But it does look a little unnatural to me. Just a little bit. Just a hair off. And that's a nitpick at the end of the day. Just like kind of no peg holes. That's a nitpick. It's not that big of a deal. But he does got kind of the bushwhacker body style, which really not far off. They were kind of the bushwhacker of their era in some ways, you could say. He's got overalls just like his partner going on. White shirt instead of yellow this time. Looking good. You even got the gold color there on the clasps there on the suspenders. 2 Fists of Fury on Dennis Knight as well. So he does have fist here. Black boots. Got the blue pants, of course, from the suspenders going on here. You do got some of that line right there. Some of that seam lines going on. And you do got a little bit of separation here in the shoulders. But that's not terrible. It looks fine here. I did see this. I forgot to mention. You got a big seam line down the side here that's a little unsightly. But if you have his arm blocking it, you don't see it as much here. But you do see some seam lines on these guys a little bit more, especially on the shoulders on Henry O. Godwin compared to some of the other ones here. But at the end of the day, very cool to get a tag team. And of course, articulation can be the same for both of these guys, as we do know. But I'm very excited to get a tag team. We don't get enough tag teams in our figure lines these days. And an old school tag team like the Godwins that have been underrepresented once again, I'm here to get these things in the retro line. I really like the accessories with this one as well. I think that was a fun add-on. It gives a little extra pizzazz to this set. All in all, a good set. Is it the best set from Heels and Faces so far? Maybe not. I'm not sure exactly which one my favorite one is so far, but this one's in the mix. It's in the higher level. It's not the low. I'd say the Godfather is probably my least favorite. I did have the Savio Vega, which we just recently unboxed on the channel, and I got Ahmed Johnson kicking around as well, so we can get some comparisons here. Mabel probably being my favorite figure so far just because of the size of it all. But it's not bad. We're getting that era of the WWE, WWF era in figure form, retro figure form. We're here for that at the end of the day. I did mention these two earlier. Probably my favorite, two of my favorite Bone Crunchers, I'll say. We got these two from the old Bone Cruncher days. Very underrated. I would say this Godwin Bone Cruncher set, one of the most underrated sets of tag teams of all time. Yes, I said it. Really, really like these figures, and I like that we get some updated ones, even if it's in the retro line. We'd love some Mattel Elites of the Godwins. Hopefully that happens down the line. It does sound like the Heels and Faces Zombie Sailor, he's going to dive into the Godwins game as well, as he just recently announced Henry Godwin to come into the Heels and Faces. Be interested to see how that does. I got to think we're at least a year plus out if that ever happening. Give some space between this one. This one will be long sold out, long gone by the time the Heels and Faces one comes out. So maybe it's not a bad business move. We'll see how that shakes out. But the Godwins, a fun tag team, a fun retro set here today at the old table. But what say you guys and gals out there? What are you doing? You picking this set up? Did you pick this set up? Is it a pass? Is it a long game? Are you waiting for the Heels and Faces one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to both YouTube channels. And don't forget about the Patreon for early access to all the YouTube channel videos from both channels and your best way to support this very YouTube channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads and on Instagram. So for the Godwins, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.